Hey everyone, so I have a pretty exciting video for you guys today. It is a comparison video on a couple of new liquid highlighters that have recently released. And it is the Marc Jacobs Dewdrops, the Coconut Gel Highlighter, and the new Tarteist Pro Glow Highlighter. Now both of these are pretty new, like I said before. I love a good liquid highlighter, especially in the summer and spring. They're a lot more versatile than powder highlighters. Although I do really like the ease of application with powder highlighters. So every once in a while I go on a kick with liquid highlighters, and I find that they're a lot more flattering if you have dry skin like I do. So I guess it just depends on my mood. I am not on either end of the spectrum when it comes to highlighting. I don't like that ultra subtle highlight because I can pretty much achieve that with my foundation I'm already using and with really moisturized skin prep. So I'm not for like that ultra subtle highlight, but I'm also not into a super metallic look either. I love the products that kind of steal from both sides. I was seeing a lot of swatches of these on Instagram. Of course, everything looks beautiful when it's swatched and it's in the sun. I was still sucked in, and when I saw these on Sephora, I decided to pick them both up to kind of see what one would become my staple. With summer coming up, I really wanted to have a go-to product. Let's first start off with the Marc Jacobs Coconut Dew Highlighter. First of all, the color is really beautiful. It reminds me a lot of Becca Champagne Pop, if you're familiar with that highlighter. Here's a quick swatch of it for you. It is a white champagne with, you know, that rosy peach sort of tone to it. And I love it. I really adore the color. I think it really goes well if you wear a lot of like warmer looks with your makeup. I have red hair and I like a lot of warmer peachy looks, and I think that this really works really well with my hair color and my skin color, and I'm pretty fair, so if you were afraid of this golden shade not working for you, it works really well for me. I think what makes this product really excellent is the formula. Liquid highlighters sometimes can be too emollient and they can kind of slip around on the face. Sometimes they can just feel greasy, you know, they can just feel uncomfortable on the face. So what I really like about what Marc Jacobs did with this product is that it's a really awesome balance between being very blendable and also actually setting down on the face. So I find that when you first pump out the product, it's kind of like a gel. It's good. It's not like too creamy. It's not like a thick cream. It's more like a gel, and you blend it onto the face. It's definitely more of a sheer highlight, which can be built up. It really wants to blend into your skin, which is awesome because when you put on your foundation, the highlight becomes one with it rather than kind of being stark and very obvious on the cheekbones. It's incredibly refined, and this is an expensive highlight, but I have to say it looks expensive on the skin. It really does. I really like that I can manipulate it, and because it's like a gel, it really blends in with the other products I have on my face. And then within about 2 or 3 minutes, it has set down. And it isn't like a powder finish, which can sometimes look drying. It is just set, kind of like a foundation would naturally set, which is awesome. So I just swatched this a little bit ago, and it has now set. I think it's really awesome when you can find a product that sets down without looking dry and without setting too fast. For example, I do enjoy the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops, the highlighting shades, but it dries down so quickly that I find the product can be kind of finicky. It's much easier to look stark on the face than something like this that really wants to blend in with the other products you already have on your face. The longevity is about 5 hours, I would say. Not the most long wearing highlighter, but it's also not lacking in the department, I think. The pump on here is also great because it disperses just the right amount of product you can really control rather than it just being one preset amount of product. This is definitely a buildable highlight, so it's not going to be one swipe intense. And you know, I have to say that I like it for that reason. It's definitely more of a buildable product. And I find that those products are way less likely to exaggerate the texture on your skin, and they really blend in much better than those instantaneous glow products. Now, I also love this one because it looks like really healthy skin, but just amped up with a bit of a color and a bit of a sheen. I'll put a little bit more on. This is the cheek I'm wearing it on. I'll have the full demo, but sometimes you have someone who's wearing a lot of highlight and it's just like, bam, that is all you see on their cheeks. It's definitely not like that, but it's also not lost, and it definitely lasts throughout the day. So I think they've achieved a really, really great balance with this product. Now let's get into the Tarteist Pro Glow. I'm kind of gonna keep this quick because I have to say I'm not a fan of this product. The shade itself is really nice. If you like Opal from Becca, I find that it is pretty similar. It's definitely an in-your-face highlight. Here it is right here. Where the Marc Jacobs shines is its formula. I think this is where the Tarte kind of falls. The glitter in here is incredibly chunky. Liquid itself is really, really pigmented, even more pigmented than the Marc Jacobs. So your skin is not going to shine through here. And that kind of makes it a bit stark. But even more so than that, the chunkiness of the glitter, it's almost gritty how thick and glittery it is. The product definitely sets down kind of the same way that the Marc Jacobs does, except it doesn't want to blend into the skin in that process. So you never really get the chance to really make it one with your skin before it sets down. And I find that when I'm really trying to blend it out, the product kind of wipes away and kind of picks up on itself. Then I'm kind of left with just glitter on my face and a lot of the pigment gets washed away. It's kind of strange how that can go from like nothing and just be dispersed glitter. If you just kind of dab it on the skin, it can be really metallic. And if you like that metallic look, you might really like this. Just know that it's going to look almost like a stripe on your face rather than really be blending in with the other products on your face. I do not in any case recommend this for mature skin. Something that's also kind of weird about the formula is that it flakes a bit. If you do manage to get a good layer of this on and have like a really metallic look, it will flake off. I just think the product sets way too quickly, is too thick, and the glitter itself and pigment is way too chunky. And if you're still hesitant and you're trying to pick between these two, this has 0.8 ounces, almost a whole fluid ounce, and this is just more than half an ounce. So you actually get much more product with the Marc Jacobs than you do with the Tarte. Just so you guys can kind of tell what I mean about how the formulas work with my skin, I do have a demo coming up. It's actually my second time recording this demo. My file got corrupt, so yeah. So here is the Marc Jacobs, and then over here is the Tarte. So I'm gonna let these dry down. Alright, so they have dried down a bit. Here's the Marc Jacobs, as you can see. It's really, really pretty. And the Tarte looks pretty too. I'm not sure if you can tell though. It looks a little bit flaky right here. And it looks a little bit more chunky than the Marc Jacobs. You can kind of tell side by side that this is a little bit more refined and that this is a little thicker and chunkier, and it is a little bit flaky, whereas the Marc Jacobs is not. Now let's apply them to the face, and I actually have to go to work later, so this is going to be kind of weird. Now I've used a beauty blender and my fingers before. I don't find that either works better, so I'm just going to use my fingers, and I'm going to put the Marc Jacobs on this side. And like I said, you can really build it up. It looks very healthy. As you can see, it just looks really fresh and pretty and smooth, which is great. So on the other side, I'm going in with the Tarte, and you definitely need a lot less product. So that is one good thing about it. But as you can see, it is already taking a bit more to blend out. So as you can see with the Marc Jacobs, it kind of just looks really dewy and like it's a part of my skin. Whereas over here, although it looks very metallic and intense and all that, it looks very obvious, like that there is a ring right here where there's a lot of highlight. It definitely highlights any texture I have, and I have pretty smooth cheeks in general. I just think it looks a little glittery, too chunky, and it doesn't really blend in with the other makeup I have on my face. It's very stark. I find over here on the Marc Jacobs side, it just looks a little bit more skin-like, and I find that it really blends in with everything a little bit better than the Tarte does. I find that the glow is definitely there, but it's not really exaggerating any texture. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful for you guys in helping you decide what product you want. Again, my preferences aren't the right preferences. I just hope I helped you become more informed about the formulas and how they worked with my skin type. If the video was helpful, please subscribe. That would really make my day. And if you guys have any other questions, as always, I am so happy to help, and I will hopefully see you in my next video.